feet. We truly appreciate you flying with Dre Sanchez Airlines and hope you have a pleasant and enjoyable flight. Once again, welcome aboard and thanks for joining the stream. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Dre Sanchez Airlines. On behalf of our entire flight crew, thank you for choosing to fly with us today. We're expecting a smooth and comfortable flight and everything is lining up nicely to get you to your destination on time. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy the journey as we take care of you at 30,000 feet. We truly appreciate you flying with Dre Sanchez Airlines and hope you have a pleasant and enjoyable flight. Once again, welcome aboard and thanks for joining the stream.
What is up, my G's? Good to see you, fam bammers. Capital G, capital O, capital D. Thank you for waking me up and blessing me with another day. Big up to wifey and kids on that rotation. D Champ is in the house, first on the scene. What is good, my G? Good to see you. Good to see everybody, y'all. We are obviously back here in X-Plane Twizzle. You guys like that? And we're just getting in here because it's a wee bit loud out there. We're in the Airfoil Labs King Air 350 doing some recreational private charters here for a small aviation company. We're out of here, Grand Canyon Airport, Big Bear Lake Airport, and then up to Lake Tahoe. So each leg isn't that long, 200 something miles, about an hour a piece, so not too bad. So we'll see how much flying we get in here. GamerTube HD says, how do you have Airfoil Lags King Air 350? Did they update it? Yeah, it works. X-Plane 12. It's been working for X-Plane 12 for me, my G. So I'll take you right through it. It's been updated for a while, as far as I'm concerned. Here we are. Cold and dark, fam bamaruskis, and it is looking good, man. Let me make sure I am logged on. Yeah, he says, oh, never mind, it's not a 350i. Actually, it is a 350i. To be honest with you, it is absolutely a 350i. King Air 350i right here, my G. So King Air, maybe you're thinking about a different one, but yeah, the King Air 350i here, good to go. That's what we're flying, man. So I know it's frustrating figuring out which planes are updated, which ones don't update. So yeah, anyway, thanks for joining the stream, everybody. Let us get these jams off for now, guys. So let's do a few things here. What's up, Drew, man? Good to see you, my G. Good to see you, Drew. Good to see you, my G, the weatherman. Big up, everybody. All right, so we're getting ready to start this thing up, but we need to fill it up first. So let me show everybody how to do that again. So I'm in the flight plan right now. We need about 2,000 pounds of fuel, and payload is about 2,530. We'll adjust that accordingly. So one thing we can do to load this aircraft up is just simply come here to the weight and balance. This flight, we needed about 2,000 pounds of fuel, and we pretty much have what we want right here. But if we just simply do kind of like 2/4, let's see what 3/4 is looking at. So 3/4 is basically 2,500 pounds. 1/4 is essentially not even 2,000 pounds yet. So let's see if we can make each tank. We'll do some pilot's fuel. So you know what? 3/4 is not bad. We'll take 3/4 as a tank. And as far as, let's see, boom. Let's see, if we go full, we're out of tolerance. If we go 3/4, we're in tolerance. And that's pretty much total passenger weight 901. That'll be good enough. Got a few bags in there. Let's apply this. And that's probably already was applied. I don't see that the aircraft did any moving. So we'll double check to make sure main and left and right tanks have 1,273 pounds of fuel in there. So we are good there. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at this before we get going here. We will be taking off with flaps on the approach. We will have bleed air on and that. So we're not going to yet get the markers going there. What we want to do is go to normal here. And okay, those ones are starting right there at engine start. Okay, so we don't need that. We were going to kind of do a cockpit prep, but we'll just do that here. You can see the everything is in the idle position. The power levers as well as the prop conditioners and the fuel conditioners, they're all in the idle. As you observe here, parking brake in fact is set. All batteries are off. All avionics are off. Okay, bleed air is closed in the off position, and for whatever reason we got some lights on here, which we didn't need. So there we go. We want to turn everything off so you're not tripping anything. Okay, we look good, guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to start the aircraft. And let me check you guys out before I keep going. We're going to start the aircraft. We're going to program it up, and we're going to get up out of here. Thank you for the METAR, Drew. And all is well. I am blessed, my G. I thought the King Air 350 has the G1000. I'm sure there are some King Air 350s that do have it. In here, we're going to be running the GTN 750, so you'll see that it's not the G1000, but the GTN 750 gets the job done. All right, guys, so let's look left, let's look right, and there's a whole process. I'll go ahead and turn these controls on here. Let's make sure they're free and clear. Camera should be good to go. Let's make sure it's not going to do any crazy focusing thing. Let's make sure they saved, okay, because sometimes the autofocus comes on, and then it looks really weird. All right, so we need to push our prop conditioners all the way up into the full forward position and out of feather. And prop areas are clear. We're going to start the right engine one. So we're doing a battery start. We got a little bit extra fuel in there, so we're good to go. So first thing we're going to do, let's turn the battery on. And then we are going to turn our nav light on as well as our beacon here, which we have set up. You can see we've got our minimal power avionics coming on, which is what we want. We got some lights outside flashing, and we're calling starting right engine. All right, what we're going to notice here is that RPM coming up. We're looking for about 12 there on the turbine. Let's go ahead and introduce fuel into the low idle. Okay, we're noticing that turbine is coming up. That noise you hear is just giving us an alarm that the ignition and engine start is active. Let's wait for it to stable and low idle. Okay, now we can come down and we can give it some fuel. High idle. As that's happening, you can come out and get rid of this alarm. Okay, engine is stable. Okay, we're going to go right generator, and then we're going to reset it. And we get some power here. We're also going to get that right inverter on. And we're going to keep it in high idle. We're just going to monitor it here for a second, making sure our other DC power and bus ties automatically tie, which they did here. And that's why you see the second and the rest of the power coming on. We're not going to turn the primary flight display or the HSI on just yet. I don't know why that thing does that. All right, let's call out starting left engine. Same process. We're looking for 12 on the turbine. RPM there. Okay, there's 12. We'll wait for it to stabilize in low idle. Okay, it's stabilized in low idle. Fuel to full. All right. Okay, we're gonna go ahead, left generator reset, boom, inverter's on. Okay, those engines are settling down now. That engine ignition start is a big deal on these. They're a big power drain, so now you can hear those engines stabling out. Now I can bring them down into a low idle for now. And we're going to monitor up here that we've got a good DC load on there, so direct current. So alternate current needs to be changed to direct current so the equipment can use it. And we've got our volts, and we're good to go there. We'll get prop amps up once we, okay, we got no smoking, fasten seatbelts on, that's good. And we don't need a whole lot of worry about a whole lot of lights or anything up top. All right, now that that's done, folks. I don't know why that thing keeps glitching out there. All right, so now what we're gonna do, folks, is we are gonna turn our avionics on. And now you're gonna see, you can hear it too. You can hear everything connected with that avionics bus. And now we need to turn the primary and multifunction displays on. So we're gonna head here, hit that up. You're gonna see these slowly come on, and then they'll time themselves out so that they are aligned. So we give this a second here, folks. And we've got a good engine start here in the King Air 350i here in Grand Canyon. Let's go ahead and start our planning here. First and foremost, Drew, he did give us the weather. It's winds are out of the west northwest, 10 gusting 15, so we'll be taking more than likely the western runway. Altimeter is 3025. So let's get that altimeter set first, and then we'll always double check the weather white before we get ready to taxi. All right, 3025. That'll be timed out here shortly. And let's get right into this flight plan. Okay, this wants us to depart on the Parks 4. So, and then PGS. So let's come here and go ahead and load a procedure. Okay, and that's for runway 21, and the transition is PGS. So there we go. And then we'll also look at this departure here shortly. And then from there, it's really easy. We will be just typing in a few waypoints here. And then Halvey. So some of this, let me do something really quick here. Because some of these waypoints are actually okay. 26. So see here, for example, this is Benja right here. And honestly, let's see, let's look at this shelf here. 11, okay, 9. So we can probably come in on a long downwind. Looking at this here shelf, we need to be at least at 12, 13. And may have to come back in looking at the terrain there. So let's go ahead and add the airport now. It is kind of nice if we are able to have some ATC, especially flying in there. Hopefully there's no weather or anything, because this is an RNAV. It should get us in there as long as the minimums are good. But just navigating that terrain up in the Big Bear area is it's going to be the trick. So we're planning on 26. And I want to take this from basically Okeko as far as a reference. So we can load that and see Ninja. So Okeko, that'll be fine. So on our initial route to Beninja, what we're going to do is because we're still going to use that waypoint. Or did he get rid of it? PG, oh no, here it is. So what we're going to do, we're not going to be there at that. Let's switch this to be about 13,000 feet, just to be on the safe side. And we'll save that for our VNav purposes. There we go. All right, now we're going to be flying at, and essentially we're in the center pedestal, if you guys are wondering. We're going to be flying, so we'll come down here again on the shortcut. We're going to be flying at 24,000 feet, so let's get our pressurization set up. So we're going to go 24, and then we'll do about half. Okay, there we go. So this is what we're looking for, and we're lining it up in here for a good pressurization. Now, another thing on this aircraft that you always want to do is you want to cycle your rudder boost to off, and you want to cycle your trim to off, and then cycle it to back on. And then double check that your trims are working. Here we go. Trims are working. I'm using my trim switch there. And then now let's go ahead and bug ourselves up to 24 flight level 240, 24,000 feet. Perfect. We're doing good here, guys. We are going to be leaving on well, one thing I said that we would do, now that we got this part kind of figured out, and we'll have to go back and check the minimums in the air for this arrival. So let's come back here now and go back to the Grand Canyon. And now we want to study our departure. And we're using the Parks 4. So now let's take a look at this thing here. Because we'll use this right side basically for our maps and charts and things of that nature. So take off runway 21, climb heading 210 until Grand Canyon 3 DME, turn right heading 273 to intercept the radial 239 across Gukuru. So essentially, we take off on a heading of 210. Once we get to, basically once we are 3 nautical miles from the Grand Canyon VOR, then we make a right turn to heading 273. So that'll be 3 miles out basically to the south of the Grand Canyon VOR. We'll continue to fly that runway heading and climb up. Then we're on to a heading of 273. And then you can see here we pick up the radial 239er, which is outbound from the station, to cross Gukuru here at or above 10,000. And then we'll be on Victor 208 Airway on a heading of 208/210 to the PGS. And we'll be on a heading of a track of 239, continuing on radial 058. Now that we've joined, here's the airway, Victor 208, 210 to the Peach Springs VOR, and then we transition off that. So that looks good. So in the meantime, what we can do here on these charts is we can get them back to where we can see ourselves here. So we'll be taxiing all the way down here to runway 21. Or actually, 21 is here. So we'll taxi up here, take 21, boom. So very short taxi. All right, so now let's get our logic set up. We're gonna go down here and click this into the nav mode. We're gonna also hit altitude select. Now it's in the nav mode, and we'll square up the heading once we get on onto the runway there. And then now we're just simply going to ensure that we have a nice little pitch up there for the climb out. We go flight plan here, and finally let's get the squawk put in here. We need a squawk of 7367. 7367. $73.67. We'll go altitude on. Very good. Now, even though we're going to have this on here for our departure, we want to come here and essentially take a look at this, because this is going to include any air traffic on here due to the fact that it has traffic on here, so that we can observe any traffic on here. So let's also put the terrain on here, and we already have traffic. Okay, no messages there. Bada bing, bada boom. So we're up to runway 21 on Papa, and then we're out on the Parks 4. Okay, folks, trims are set. Let's go ahead and set our departure. Rudder tab, rudder trims are zeroed out. Aileron trims are zeroed out. Pitch trim for takeoff is set. Now we need to come over here. Let's get our pitos on, and we also need to get auto feather on now. As well as now we need to get our bleed airs on. All right. Let's go ahead and aileron left, aileron right. And sometimes when this parking brake is set, that's the problem with the okay. And let's go taxi light on. And we've got our altimeter set there. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's get our radios on now. All right, let's set those brakes one more time. Let me check you guys out here. You guys have been most graciously patient. CTAF. Now we got to get the builds advisory. And then I did promise you guys, just in case, we're doing the METAR one more time. 31010, 3025, everything's the same temperature, 18, good. That's what Drew gave us. Let's go 19.1 on the frequency. So we're going to come here. All right. We got 19.1, and on this side, let's get 122.8. And here's what we'll do. We're just going to be monitoring that, but we'll be transmitting on comms 1. And let's see here. We are on the east ramp by the terminal, and we'll be taxiing Papa to 21. And we can get the weather mode to standby for now, and we'll get that turned on here shortly. And then finally, let's get our HSI. Actually, sometimes it's easier to do it from the first officer side. Let's get our HSI by clicking this twice. We need one more click to where we are going to follow the GPS. And then once we get there, we'll go direct, and we'll be just fine, because it already needs us to get here in order for the GPS to work, and that's why it's kind of off. We already have the nav mode set up. Okay, let's ensure flaps are set. All right, flight controls check one more time. All right, as promised, let me check you guys out, and then we're out of here. We got to check fuel one more time too. Gray, can you turn the overlay on, please? Okay, sorry about that. Yes, sir. There's the overlay, guys. Grand Canyon. Thank you, Drew, for reminding me about that, because I sure would have forgot. And there is the overlay, my G's. Okay, it's time to go to Grand Canyon. Last thing we need to do is check our fuel, make sure it was. Okay, we got well over 2, so we're good. We've got 12, 13, roughly 13, so we're good. About 2,600 pounds of fuel there for this bad boy. All right, let's check our taxi checklist out here. For taxi, Gentai switch is open. It is voltmeter is up here. We'll check that once it gets all the way up. Here's the voltmeter. We did check that. Bus sys switch. We reset that. Voltmeter just checked. Bus selector switch. It's triple fed. Master panel cockpit lights as desired. Environmental system is set. We putting those bleeds on. And we could come down here and make sure the temps are good. Let's see. Temps are good. Let's get that cabin temperature to auto there. Okay. EFIS power switches, they are already on. This is saying flaps up, but we're taxiing with flaps down. And that's just because there's a run up. Annunciators, tests normal. Flight controls, free and correct. Flight instruments, no flags, which is correct. Brakes, release and test before taxi checklist complete. Let's double check a few things here. Alright, let's go down here. This is the EFI side test, and this is the power. We already did 2 tests, so that's all good. Because if we didn't have that on, we wouldn't have the HSI or the PFD. Well, I think we're good. Grand Canyon traffic, November 318 Delta Sierra is on the east ramps, just to the west of the terminal. Will be taxiing to runway 21 for departure on the Parks 4 on the Papa, Grand Canyon. All right, here we go, guys. Let's go out and do our fit check. Okay, brake is off, recognition lights are on, nav lights, taxi lights, no ice protection is needed, and we're good, doing good here. Let's see, window defog, and looking on the annunciator panel, of course, everything looks good here. Low prop pitch is because we have the low fuel, and it's in low idle right now, or ground idle basically. Of course, this guy is going to pull in, right? That's wonderful. All right. Welcome aboard, November 318 Delta Sierra with service all the way to Lake Tahoe for these passengers, recreational passengers. You're most welcome, Dre. Hey, man, thanks for reminding me, my G. Flying time for this first leg is going to be about an hour. All right, sorry about that. All right, let's pick it up. Grand Canyon traffic on Alpha, November 318 Delta Sierra will be entering runway 21 departure on the Parks 4, Grand Canyon. We're not going to do the run-up for time's sake. We're just out of here. Bino's looking clear. Of course, in real life, you're going to do the run-up. You're going to do the full checklist, everything. That's where we take the benefit of the sim world, baby. All right, strobes on. All lights on. All right, we're going to square up the heading. Now, in order for our GPS to activate, we are essentially going to have to give it a waypoint. So let's see if this will allow us to do a direct to that. And it won't. It's got us doing this. So let's see what happens here. Because essentially we need it to lock on to a waypoint. So let's get up in the air and kind of follow what we're supposed to do here. And we'll kind of use the map to do that. Honestly, we'll do something quick here so that this map recognizes what we're doing. We can kind of do this. We can load that. Now I can at least use this side for the map, and I can use this side to go direct. All right, fuel up. We'll wait for those to extinguish down there on the annunciator. Annunciator, all green, no white. Props are maxed. AFX. ITT's looking good. And brakes release.
Auto feather lights on.
Airspeed's alive.
Airspeed alive. 60 knots.
Check. Looking for about 95 on that rotation.
V1. Positive rate. Gear up. Attitudes check. Gear indicates up. V2.
Grand Canyon traffic, November 318 Delta Sierra is clear of runway 21 on a heading of 210 on the Parks 4. We'll call clear of field.
Flaps up.
Flaps coming up.
Flaps indicates up.
Okay, power's looking good. We're going to go IS climb right here, about 140. Okay, we don't quite have that right turn yet. I'm watching that map, but we are flying runway heading like we're supposed to. Okay, that's close enough. We're just going to go ahead and go direct. Now we're on the GPS. We're making a right turn. And Grand Canyon traffic, November 318 Delta Sierra has vacated runway heading. We are right crosswind, leaving the pattern there. Last call, Grand Canyon. We'll see you. 9,200. Engine parameters are looking good. And let's make sure that taxi light is off on the strut. And we are 10,000. Yaw damper, autopilot handed over. We're continuing that climb there. And we can get the landing lights off here. We'll also get the recognition lights off. And we have a nice departure out of the Grand Canyon. We are on course there to Gukru. We can now get out of here and just utilize this once again for our charts. And here we go. Let's get the weather radar to the on mode there. We've got our traffic on 24 miles there. $12,800 climbing. Once we get to flight level 180, 18,000, we will most certainly go into the standard pressure. Now we got to watch torque, ITT, prop RPMs. We're going to bring them back just slightly. Just out of the red. Monitor our climb performance, looking good. Turbine still at 95, so we'll leave it there. Torque is looking good. ITT is looking good. Let's square up that heading. Always want to keep the heading squared up. Toga, baby, that's right, man. We are completely out of there. And we'll leave, I like to leave these controls on more so as well for when we're flying GA aircraft, because there's a lot more to do with those than there is on your normal aircraft there. All right, 16,200, still climbing just under 1,500 feet per minute, which is good. Normally I climb this out at 130, but the speed got a little further away from me, so this is fine. And of course, I forgot to start the chronometer. Let's just get it started now. I was looking down, messing with the look at the power. I forgot to start the doggone chronometer. What's up, Oliver, man? Says Little League has the LA Dodgers, but kids version. Guess we're about to break baseball get with the Little League. That's what I'm talking about, my man, a straight up Dodgers fan, and it's carried over to Little League. No, Drew, I didn't know that, man. So I'm gonna have to check that. Any Bills March Madness sell. For sure, for sure. I love. I'll come check you out in a second. I can get off for a second here. All right. As you know, these general aviation aircraft, these turboprops, they don't climb as fast. We have reached transition there, and of course we don't have the fancy just push in and hit to the standard, so we've got to go and do it manually. Even though I don't really care about this side, let's make sure first officer is compliant as well. And you can see here, this is following the nav, but the way to get the first officer, you just come down here and go to FMS, and now his side will be following that as well. $19,000 feet, folks. Hey, I appreciate you, Drew, for putting that link in there, my G. Gentleman and a scholar, I promise you are. All right, 20,000, still climbing a little. We're under a 1,000 feet per minute, but that's to be expected at air center. Let's check engine parameters. Torque has dropped significantly. And we'll probably come right into that 1650 mode once we get into cruise. We'll see how that's going. Oil pressure is looking good. Oil temperature pressures are looking good on left and right engines. Fuel flow is symmetric. Turbine is generally symmetric here. Props are looking good. Torque symmetric. ITT symmetric. Now let's look at our fuel burn. Okay, symmetric. All right, 3,000 to go. And we have been monitoring Unicom. Let's switch over to Unicom on this side now. There we go. And essentially I can get, this isn't the side that is, this isn't the side, it switched it back to 29901. All right. I was just seeing if there was another weather function here, which obviously there's not. But what I was saying is we could pretty much match this side. And I wish there was a crossfeed feature for these two ones. So now we've got map over here and a map over there. All right, less than 1,000 to go. Climbing right at about 600 feet per minute or so, fluctuating. Wonder where our prop amps. I'm definitely not going to be messing with any of this over here. Need to figure out where that thing isn't reading. All right, let's bring props to about 1650. All right, that's 1650. Turbine can stay right at 95. We're picking up speed. Now, the one thing I will say about this aircraft, it does pretty much want to always exceed what it's supposed to be flying. So that's, these props on this one are no joke. So let's see what type of mileage we got here. We got 272 here, 174. Keep it in mind that when we get the Ninja, we'll literally be only 11,000 at if we were to stay at flight level 240. Obviously, that won't be the case. We'll look at crossing that, and then we'll look at getting ourselves down appropriately. So basically this 174 is going to be our longest hump. And you can see it's got our top of descent schedule there. Alright, I'm gonna step out here for a second. I'll be back. Let's just make sure that we're not picking up. Gotta watch this thing because it'll just keep creeping and creeping up, so. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Alright, Fam Bam Marusis, your boy will be right back with you here shortly. All right, just checking back in with you guys. Let's go up and see how we're looking. 97 stabilized, and looks like our speed is stabilized at about 214, 215 indicated. And we'll start descending down. Because it looks like we can pretty much almost hit it straight in here. And let's see. They want Keiko. Above 94, boom, 9, 10, 11, yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to go direct to a Keiko now. Probably not even going to be a that significant of a turn either. And there's our top of the descent. So it looks like we're coming straight in, and we'll just monitor this terrain on our descent, and it looks like it's going to be a visual day, so we will be okay. Come here. Let's go utilities. V now. So, top of descent. Okay, we got 126 there. Then once we get here, it's only 3 miles. So yeah, that makes sense. So we'll change this 10.5. Okay, now we can come back here to utilities, VNAV, Keiko, 10.5. But we're going to change this to 1,800 feet per minute. There we go. So at 1,800 feet per minute to Keiko, we've got 17 minutes. And let's make sure we're doing, just to keep it up, yeah, we'll use the map on this side now since we got that one rolling. Let's see if the VNAV on this one caught up. Nope, so then all you got to do is go back to flight plan, Keiko, then we got to go back, do the same thing essentially. There we go, same thing. And now we have our top descent calculated correctly. All right, we are rolling. I'm going to step back out real quick. Be back with you shortly. Stop and sit, 6 minutes. Okay, let's go ahead and square up the heading. And let's come here and start looking at some charts. Alright, so what you're seeing here is the nice mist. We're going to come in, we'll be right turn, we'll turn the final here. Hit the runway, and if not, we're off on the mist, right turn. Unicom is 122725. Okay, guys, so we're going to actually be taking runway 8. Music off. There we go. And we might as well get that back on for you guys. All right. 1 minute. Let's make sure we do altitude select. Good afternoon, Los Angeles Center, November 318 Delta Sierra is 20 or 32 miles east of Okako and flight level 22, descending 10,500.
Number 318 Delta Sierra, LA Center, Ontario, altimeter 2995 at pilot's discretion, descend and maintain 14,000.
Altimeter 2995 at pilot's discretion, descend and maintain 14,000, and we'll continue that descent now to 14,000 for November 318 Delta Sierra.
Corsair 1 Center, good Tango Bravo,
United
2061
at flight level 217, descending on the Ziggy 8 arrival.
2661 LA Center, cross. Flavor and maintain 14,000.
Cross flavor at 14,000, United 2661.
That's 12 at LA Center, LAX Center. Did you say something to me? Negative. LA Center 19 Tango Bravo. Can you repeat please communication at the same time? Or 129 Tango Bravo, just going to maintain 6,000. 6,000.
Okay, let's check our fuel. Fuel's looking good.
Alaska 938, LS Center, squawk 177 173, Alaska 938. LA Center, very good. Today, for San Diego, Beach, 46, information chart, would like to become my F1 to answer. Respect KC. Thank you. LA, how long does it take you time? Thank you. Southwest 3669, LA Center Roger. United 2661 on 3 altimeter 2995, expect visual approach runway 26 right.
Altimeter 2995, expect visual for runway 26 right. United 2661.
Array 29er Tango Bravo, descend to maintain 3,600, best rate. 3,000, 6,000, best rate, double level. American 164, descend via the Rider 2 arrival, LA altimeter 2995. LA, good afternoon, United 2487, flight level 273, climbing 350, about 5 south of Victorville. United 2487, LA Center Roger. United 2661, descend to maintain 11,000.
Descend to maintain 11,000 for United 216.
Sir 129er Tango Bravo, cross Escon, at or above 3,600, clear to eye left for runway 24 approach. Cross Escon, at or above 3,600, would be the Moraya left. Floyd 743, descend via the Throne 4 arrival, the Palm Springs, altimeter 29903. Descend via the Throne 4 arrival from on a 1210, wind 290 at 7, runway 27, clear to land. 27, clear to land, Delta 212, stand by, having lost our autopilot, and climate arrival. Gotcha. Delta 12 is stepping away for like 5-10 minutes. LAX Center. Yeah, approved.
Okay, let's go ahead.
Aircraft calling at Vegas again.
Get some landing lights on since the elevation, above ground elevation here is a little different.
American 1611, LA Center, 1040 at 4, runway 1 right, clear to pick up. 1 right, pick up. And the Lake United 2624 to DC, San Diego. Yeah, 2624, push up out discretion, call short Bravo. Call short Bravo, United 2624. Your 318 Delta Sierra, stand for any question, Big Bear.
We'll take the visual runway 8 for November 318 Delta Sierra.
318 Delta Sierra, clear direct Big Bear Airport, descend to maintain 13,500, report field inside.
So to maintain 13,500, clear direct Big Bird, will report field in sight for November 318 Delta Sierra.
Delta Center, good afternoon, EPS 1070, heavy 30, north of the Tool Bay Airfoil, 370. EPS 1070, Alex Center, Roger. Sir 129er Tango Bravo, runway 24, clear to land. 24, clear to land, 129er Tango Bravo. United 2661, descend to maintain 8,000.
Descend to maintain 8,000, United 21661.
Delta 12 is now back is now back in, ready for descent in about 80 miles. Delta 12, descend via the HO4 arrival on serial altimeter 29905. Alright, clear for descent into LAX 7.
And Los Angeles Center, November 318 Delta Sierra has the field in sight.
Under 318 Delta Sierra, clear visual approach to Big Bear Airport. No traffic is served between you and Big Bear Airport. Report IFR cancellation in the air or on the ground, this frequency. Radar service terminated, frequency change to advisory approved.
Okay, we'll talk to you on the ground. We'll switch to frequency for November 318 Delta Sierra. Big Bear traffic, November 318 Delta Sierra is a King Air Beechcraft 350. Will be making right traffic, runway 8, full stop, Big Bear. We are entering the pattern on the downwind, direct in, Big Bear. All right, there's the lake. We were going to make left traffic. We're going to make right traffic, folks. Big Bear traffic, November 318 Delta Sierra, continuing extended right downwind, runway 8. We'll call right base, right to final, Big Bear.
1,000 feet to minimums.
We'll make our turn a little bit further out here over the lake. Give us time to
1,000 feet to minimums.
get a good sight picture and get settled down, okay? Sounds good, fam Bamaruskis? Alright, let's make sure I got you guys all squared away, which I do. Let's get under 160 here. Let's pitch this nose up a little bit. Okay, let's make a little bit of a left turn here. Making sure we don't lose any visibility.
Caution terrain. Caution terrain. Caution terrain.
All right.
Caution terrain.
First stage flaps. Big Bear traffic, November 350 Kilo Tank, or correction, November 318 Delta
Caution
Sierra.
terrain.
Now making right base and continue right to final for runway 08. Okay, speed's good. Okay, there's the runway.
500 feet to minimums.
Drop in landing gear. And Big Bear traffic, November 350, correction, November 318 Delta Sierra, now turn to final runway 8, full stop. Okay. Props to full.
500 feet to minimums.
Check. Yaw damper off. And Big Bear traffic, November 318 Delta Sierra, short final for runway 8, full stop. Full flaps.
200 feet to minimums. $100 feet to minimums. Minimums.
Continue.
Feet. 50 feet.
Dump in first stage of flaps. Reverse free.
40
And
knots.
welcome to Big Bear, folks. Let's bring that fuel back. All right. Dumping last stage flaps. All right, we'll be off on Charlie here, and then we'll cancel. Big Bear traffic, November 318 Delta Sierra on Charlie, exit runway 08, merging on the Alpha into the ramp for Big Bear. And Los Angeles Center, November 318 Delta Sierra, here on Big Bear on Alpha, clear on runway 8, canceling IFR time now.
318 Delta Sierra, IFR cancellation received, frequency change approved.
Okay, we'll talk to you soon for the next flight, 8 Delta Sierra, thanks a lot. Alright, strobes off. We're going to be into the ramp over here. One hour right on the dot, as it should have been. Big up, Rock City, -98, nice one. Hey, I appreciate you, Drew. I appreciate you. You know we do what we can do. That was a fun visual approach, to be honest with you. And if you guys have flown this King Air, you guys know this thing can get away from you, my G's. So you gotta really handle your scandal. Good to see everybody, my G's. All right, we'll get a quick replay here after we shut down. All right, Bam Bam Marooskies. Let's get all types of lights off here. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Nah, boom, boom, boom. Okay. Props are pretty low there. All right. Bring those out of feather now. Now we got to start turning off some stuff, my G's, and then we're going to get right into the replay, fam bam Marooskies. All right, let's go ahead and turn our EFIS off. Let's turn our avionics power off. All right. And we're going to turn left gen off. And shutting down the left engine. All right. Right gen coming on. All lights off. All right, fam Bamarooskies. Let's see what we got cracking here, man. Because we did it. It's time for some replay up in this joint. Before we get going on Lake Tahoe, good to see you as well, Rock City, man. My man in the house, man. Negative 98 wasn't too bad, right? All right. Let's get me off. Let's get that off. And let's get right into the replay, fam Bamaronis, Arooskies. You guys know I just be making stuff up. All right.
Knots. Minimums. Feet. 50 feet.
All right. It'd be nice if we got an actual tower play or tower view. Let's see what we get here. All right, let's run that again. Not a bad view. I gotta run the view clean though. Y'all know me. We'll get it coming. Can the doors open? Yes, they can. I just didn't open them, my G. They for sure can open.
Feet. 50 feet.
Oh yeah.
Knots.
All right, we're gonna run it back like this. Yeah, I hate when I don't get a nice tower view. I need to set up my X camera so it can be at a static apart and do it, but we'll get it this way right here too. We'll get
60
a good,
knots.
and then we'll do a ring replay, man, and then we'll be on to the next field for real skis. You're right. The tower view is from somebody's front car seat. You're right.
100 feet.
You're right, Drew, man.
50 feet.
It's all good though. We get one like this, and maybe we'll do a one following the aircraft. There's those touchdown blocks. Right in the touchdown zone, pretty much center line.
Knots.
All right, let us do a nice wing replay here.
Attitudes check.
Let's see.
Flaps up. Gear indicates up. 60 knots. Flaps indicates up.
All right, we'll grab this last
Caution to rain.
replay,
Caution to rain.
and then we'll get ready for the next flight, my G's. Thanks for hanging out. Enjoy.
Feet to minimums. Positive rate. Gear up. Minimums. Feet to minimums. Minimums. Feet. 50 feet. Knots.
All right, fam Bamaruskis, we are ready for our next leg. We're not going to Lake Tahoe. We're going to go down to San Diego, a little shorter ride. My 17-year-old wants to go drive in her car. She's getting ready to get her license here in a little bit, so she wants to go do some driving. So Daddy said we can do some driving. So we're going to do a second leg, not up to Lake Tahoe. We're going to Gillespie Field. Another recreational destination. Dispatch has, in fact, rerouted us, my G's. So this next one's only about a 34-minute flight. Really easy route here. Direct VPSF, Marines. Okay. All right. Well, let's get on board. Once again, everything is cold and dark. Let's put the fuel there, get the props up. And of course, let's stop the música. All right. Music is stopped. And let's get this back on here for you guys. We are looking for 1709 on the fuel. See, 9 and 9 is 18. That should be sufficient. And we'll keep the passenger weight right about the same. There you go. You can see that stuff changed up. All right, same thing. Let's ensure the parking brake is set. Parking brake is set. All power levers and the fuel conditioners down. Prop conditioners are full forward. Let me see something here. I'm getting something. Okay, thought I was hearing some weird noises going on there. All right, it's just on the inside. So let's go ahead, like we did last time. Battery. We can come nav, and we can come over here. Beacon up, and let's acknowledge this here. Starting the right engine. Got visual rotation. Looking for 12% on that turbine. Okay, stabilize and low idle. Let's go ahead and push it up. High idle, and we'll kill the ignition and engine start on that side. Okay, right engine is stable. We're gonna go up. Reset the generator on. Inverter on. And calling out starting left engine. Of course, looking for 12. And there's 12. Fuel looks good. 9 and 9, 18. Full fuel. Engine and ignition start off, and inverter on. Avionics master power on. All right, 2 good starts. All right, let's bring it back to low idle for both engines. Now that we've got 2 engines to share the load. All right, let's go back before we forget. We need to cycle. I could never get it that way, so we're just gonna either. Let me try to get it from this way. So yeah, so we're gonna cycle pitch trim as well as the rudder boost, and we can leave our pressurization fine. We're only flying up to 14,000 feet as it stands now, unless the man gives us something different. All right, so let's go ahead and get ready to file. Let's make sure he's still on. Yeah, he's still on 26525. Turn that on. Let's make sure the volume is turned up. And let's go ahead and put in a flight plan. Greens. Homeland. Oceanside. Okay, there's Oceanside. Okay. Then P Sierra Mike Sierra. Looks good. And then VP. All right, and then it's got us for runway 27, right? So we'll do this localizer D. So it brings us in here, so he wouldn't have us from Mission Bay. Do it. Okay. And let's get the weather too. See, 30011 knots, so runway 8 is still going to be the runway in hand. Altimeter is 29901.
Walker 5586 center, descend the line, man 2 arrival, LA altimeter 29903.
Alright, we'll descend again the Ironman 2 rep. 5556.
All right, so I believe the seat, so we can taxi all the way down and be ready before we call for a clearance. That's what we'll do. Oops.
Convoy 743, turn right heading 340, vectors ILS runway 8 approach.
Right turn 340, vectors ILS 08 for Envoy 743.
22725. All right, so there we go. So that's taxiway Alpha. Then we'll be out to the south. So we have no squawk yet, but we need to squawk as we're on the ground. So we'll put that alt, and right now we'll be VFR traffic. Let's arm our auto feather, get our left and right bleeds going, get our cabin air to auto. We've already cycled our pitch trim and set our pitch. The rudder and aileron trims are zeroed out. Alright, let's go. Select. Okay. Let's come over here. Push that twice for the GPS, and there we go. Big Bear traffic, November 318 Delta Sierra is on the west side of the field ramp, and we'll be taxiing runway 8 via Alpha. We will announce departure direction for Big Bear traffic. Alright, everything is good to go. Let's get some taxi lightage on. And some recognition lights. Let's go check ourselves out. We'll go down there and then we'll file our flight plan, and then we'll let them know we're ready to go. Alright, let me check you, fam Bamaruskis. Bamaronian Spawn is in the house, man. What is good, my G? Good to see you, fam Bammers. Gotta get flying with you again, my G. Alright. So here we are. Park and break off, and let's okay, let's come this way. No smoking, and fasten seatbelts is on for the passengers in the back. And guys, this is about a 34-minute flight, so really quick into San Diego. Yeah, for sure, my G. Hope all is well with you, fam Bamaruski. Alright, so we're just taxiing down. We just came in, landing on this runway. Now we're going to be headed to Gillespie Field. Now we have 14 set up in our target altitude there, but we'll figure out what we're doing there. In the meantime, let's also make sure. Big Bear traffic, November 318 Delta Sierra. On Alpha, we'll be holding short runway 8 in the run-up area, and we'll call taxi into runway for lineup and departure for Big Bear. All right, let's park over here in the run-up area so we can get our little taxi clearance, or IFR clearance here, if you will.
Northeast.
Los Angeles Center, November 318 Delta Sierra here at Big Bear. We are looking for IFR to Gillespie Field.
Envoy 743, turn left heading 110, descend to maintain 3,300 until established on the localizer cleared ILS runway 8 approach, report Burbank in sight.
Alright, left turn 110 down to 3,300. We'll maintain that till established, and we'll call the field when it's in sight for 743.
Okay, Spy 131, is it possible you're connected in some sort of observer mode? I don't see you on my screen.
Spine 31 on.
Walker 3699, LA Center.
Giant 6283, I'm back.
Welcome back. Walker 3699, LA Center. Bay 99, POTS discretion, descend to maintain 8,000.
BD8, Bay 99. Los Angeles Center, Allegiant 1452 on Bravo at San Diego. Pretty
Legit 1453, LA Center, rolling 27, clear for takeoff.
we have to fill the site now, Envoy 743.
Envoy 743, quick visual approach, runway 8, clear to lane, cross Van Nuys at 3,000.
Are cleared, visual survey for Envoy 743.
And Los Angeles Center, November 318 Delta Sierra here at Big Bear, looking for IFR to Gillespie Field.
318 Delta Sierra, LA Center, clearance on request.
All right, y'all. Clearance on request.
Sorry about that. Wi-Fi dropped out. We are on the ground at San Diego, taxiing 27.
Legion 1453, LA Center, runway 27, clear for takeoff.
27, clear for takeoff, Legion 1453.
LA Center, correction for Spine 31. We're with the flash and identing with our new squawk code. We're looking to head direct to Vegas now.
Okay, Vegas isn't on your flight plan as a destination or a waypoint. Do you want to go to Nellis instead? So Spine, just want to confirm, you want to go to 31, you want to go to the Las Vegas airport?
Spine 31 requesting direct to Vegas. Not Vegas, Nellis.
Spine 31, clear direct to Nellis airport.
Direct Nellis.
Spine 31, POTS discretion to set and maintain 8,000. Spine 31, POTS discretion to set and maintain 8,000.
17, 8,000, Spine 31.
Center Alexa 641, passing 1,500, 5,000 on deep headed to.
Alaska 641, LA Center, climb and maintain, flexible tree 50.
Climb and maintain, 350, Alexa 641.
Potential aircraft, LA Center, closing in 5 minutes.
Center Alexa 641, any chance start TV?
525 Whiskey Tango, runway 1 left.
If he's closing in 5 minutes, he can just let me go. That's good, Spider Man. Yeah, all is good here, my G. Appreciate you, fam. Bamaruski.
Alaska 641, clear direct to PV.
David Laxa, 6
Legion 1453, radar contact, stay altitude.
Legion 1453, passing 1,300.
Legion 1453, climb and maintain, flight level 360.
360 for 1453.
Frontier Flight 645, LA Center, runway 27, line of way. Lufthansa 25, frequency change approved, good day.
Let's see what airspaces we're in, because we can literally just leave VFR.
Frontier Flight 645, contact SoCal approach 119.6. Spine 31, say Mach.
Flight 73.
Yeah, 3972, descend via the Lucky 1 arrival, Limburg altimeter 29901.
29901, descend with Lucky 1, Sierra 3972.
And Los Angeles Center, November 318 Delta Sierra. If you're closing in 5 minutes, I can go ahead and leave this field VFR and stay VFR for the next 3 minutes until you get off, sir.
Yeah, November 318 Delta Sierra. I see you just filed some visual reporting points on your flight plan, so that's going to take a while. I don't think I'll be able to get it out in the minutes. The approach controller for Gillespie just got on, so I guess you could talk to him in a little bit, but you don't have to talk to me if you're departing VFR from an uncontrolled field. So frequency change approved.
Yeah, Roger that. I was just saying I will leave VFR. See, we're busy, so no need to wait and even pick up at IFR. You're going to be getting off, so I appreciate you. Frequency change approved. We'll talk to the controller down there at Gillespie Field. Have a good one. November 318 Delta Sierra.
Southwest 3950.
So, yeah, like a monumental waste of time. Like, you know, we filed our flight plan. He was going to do something different, so we'll get down there and come in. Let me just check one thing and make sure this isn't on a tech route. Let's see. And if you guys know what tech routes are in Southern California, they're already pre-made routes that you can file that will get you to the airspace, and it'll give you the altitude. You can fly those VFR, so you'd be at your VFR altitudes, or you can fly them so we are just gonna edit our flight plan really quick here. Now that when I got my flight plan from SimBrief, but what I did is I'm gonna throw in a tech route here. Okay, so we just threw in a tech route we're going to throw this tech route in really quick. So this route will be accepted. There's no ATC by the time we get to where we're going, so we're literally just going to redo this route here really quick. So we can come right in here, go back, go flight plan, we'll go menu, we'll delete all waypoints, start again, Big Bear City, then we're going Paradise. Then from Paradise, we're going to pick up Victor 186. Then from Victor 186, we're going Hell. Then from Hell, we're doing Victor 66. And then we're out of there at Mission Bay. We're going to load that, and then we're going to add load a procedure, and we're going to go approach, and it's going to be localizer Delta, and we're going to do that from Mission Bay. And we'll load that. Boom. So we'll take off and get to the right here, and Paradise is 39 miles, so we got plenty of time to get on course. Alright. We never got a squawk, so we'll just keep squawking VFR. We're going to amend our altitude as well to, since we're flying VFR, we'll do 14.5. Excuse me. All right. Big Bear traffic, November 318 Delta Sierra, holding short here of runway 8 in the run-up area. Will now be entering runway 8 for immediate departure on runway 8, and then we will be out to the southwest. We'll be doing right crosswind, then we'll go right downwind and exit the pattern on a 45 out to the southwest for Big Bear traffic. All right, strobes on. Now, the only button I couldn't bind for whatever reason is landing light. There we go. Auto feathers on. Okay. Let's check you guys out really quick. Sorry about that delay, but it happens to the best of us, you know. So I'm just going to fly the pattern, and then we'll get on nav. HD's in the house. Final looks clear. Okay, remember what we do here, guys? We're going to go there. Let's go on to heading mode for now. We're going to set up our right crosswind. All right. And, of course, we got a vertical speed. We need to go altitude select. And fuel up, all the way 100% fuel rich, if you will. And clock started.
Auto feather lights on. Airspeed alive. 60 knots.
Okay, takeoff power set.
V1. Rotate. V2. Positive rate. Gear up.
Ooh, that was close, boy. Gears
Flaps
coming up.
indicates up. Attitudes check. Gear indicates up.
That was a close one. I actually took off no flaps. That's why we needed a little more speed. And Big Bear traffic, November 318 Delta Sierra is clear of runway 8. Out, right crosswind. Okay, flaps are up already. Let's get that taxi off there. And let's continue the turn. And Big Bear traffic, November 318 Delta Sierra, now turning right downwind runway 8. Will report exit in the pattern. Go indicated airspeed climb. Okay, there's the fill. We're on the right downwind. And then we're going to exit to the southwest on the 45 here. Once we get straightened up. $10,000. All right. Straighten up here. Nav is the only one that doesn't work with the button here for whatever reason, how they did the profile for the Honeycomb. And Big Bear traffic, November 318 Delta Sierra, now departing the pattern out to the southwest, last call, Big Bear. 1228. Alright, autopilot smoothly handed over. Speed is picking up. And let's bring those props kind of back into the 1650 now. Okay, we're right at 14.5, which is where we want to be. Hey, appreciate you, HD. Appreciate you. Yeah, you know I got to get some content in there, my G. Yeah, like I said, that was a questionable takeoff there, but we didn't have our flaps to take off, so that was why that pull was very hard. Probably almost clipped the tree, I'm sure. I mean, look at this thing. It just wants the speed. It's awesome. Pull that power back. So essentially now we're flying VFR. Once we get on course, all right, so all right. Let's see if it will allow us to. Okay, now we're getting ready to get on course, so let's start our descent down to our altitude.
Calgary, November 45 Juliet Alpha at TA at San Diego, requesting departure from first position for a north VFR at or below 8,000. Number 454 Juliet Alpha.
10 minutes into the flight.
772.
Nice, easy descent. Nothing egregious on the vertical speed, so that we could essentially.
Nothing after 4 Juliet Alpha, just my ground giving clearance. Yeah, they just did. And look at 4 Juliet Alpha, you ready for departure?
So we could essentially get down to 14,000 without picking up
4
speed.
Juliet Alpha, departure from present position to travel risk remain north on runway 27, wind tree 106, altimeter 2991, quarter 1. Departure at Island risk remain north of 27 and wing over 404 Juliet Alpha. Juliet Alpha Airborne contact 200.
All right, there's 1,400 feet.
Rear contact. 4 Juliet Alpha, here to your feet. And 4 Juliet Alpha is the same, radar contact. 59, 72, wind tree 106, runway 27, crew left. That's the plan here. Juliet Alpha, I'm on navigation, maintain 2 miles. Really low navigation, maintain via further turn, 4 Juliet Alpha.
So we'll switch our.
Flight 3278, SoCal, approach hello, squawk 707. 776,
I forgot to put the altitude select on, so we.
Contact 25 miles south of Juliet VOR at Mindy, clear approach runway 27,
Descended a little bit below that. Clear 278, Roger, cleared any approach aircraft, the RNAV, Yankee 1 and localized, and so your position. 900 and Mindy, approaching 227, Delta 2378, unfortunately, our center is offline, radar service terminated, for exchange approved, red flag will be. All right, we're 14,000. We're cruising. All right, before we get in this airspace, let me go and hit this latrine really quick. I'll be right back with you, bam bammers, in 2 seconds. Alright, I am back. No time to play.
Yeah, 3972 up to San Diego, contact ground 123.9 will zip. Ground 6.9, yeah, 3976.
And SoCal approach, November 318 Delta Sierra, 14,000. We are 8 miles to the north of the Degel fix.
318 Delta Sierra, SoCal approach below, squawk 7367.
7367, was that the number?
Affirmative, 7367.
Okay, we'll be squawking 7367 for 8 Delta Sierra. 7367. In the box.
Alright, Delta Sierra, radar contact 50 miles northwest of the ocean side. You have an approach request to Gillespie.
Yes, we would like the localizer Delta at the mission base, sir.
Delta Sierra, Roger, expect localizer Delta.
Yeah, appreciate it. We'll be expecting localizer Delta 8 Delta Sierra. Alright, life is good. We got our flight plan on there. We updated our flight plan. We got some good ATC.
SoCal approach, 5600, take off at a mile to the north of the Del Mar racetrack at 3,500. We're full top limit for your country. 569 Tree Papa. No approach to low aircraft technical substance. Papa Alpha 24 respect. Call number 569 Tree Papa. Establish on the 278, wind tree 106, runway 27, clear land. Runway 27, clear land, 278.
737
Alpha Squawk 4621. 4621. Actually, pop radar contact 11 miles north-west of Mission Bay VOR, clear the city of Class Bravo airspace, Alert Officer 2991. Bravo 2991. Close stop 1495, we will be pretty short runway 27 right. 1495, SoCal departure to low, ultra runway 27 traffic mail. We will hold shore on runway 27 for Papa 1495. 93 Papa, traffic is going to be at sure 1 o'clock. It's a helicopter at 1,200 feet.
Okay, localizer is 10-5.
Helicopter 4, Julie Alpha, review traffic at 2 o'clock, about 1.5 miles. 24 port side. Helicopter 4, Julie Alpha, we have the traffic in sight. Maintain visual separation, thank you.
Okay, we're doing heading mode.
Delta Sierra, descend and maintain 6,000.
Down to 6,000 over 318 Delta Sierra.
Frontier Flight 3278, welcome to San Diego, contact ground now 123.9, we'll do. 1495, wind tree 106, runway 27, clear for takeoff. Clear for takeoff from Papa 1495.
Let's see, it was 269. Course be 269.
Okay, Delta Sierra, turn left heading 090, vector for final.
Left 090, vectors for final, 8 Delta Sierra.
Papa, enter right down with the lead. Enter right down.
$260. $264.
1495, radar contact, they help you leaving.
Leaving passing 600,000.
Go 1495, roger, climb, maintain 1550.
There we go.
15,000 for Papa 1495.
We have our VOR set up.
Papa, traffic's going to be at your, we'll say 1 o'clock now, 4 miles. It's a Copa 737 at the 600 feet port site. We have the traffic on the upwind side. Initial separation, thank you. And over 525 Whiskey Tango, SoCal approach to the line down. Whiskey Tango, radar contact.
So he might turn us in at Barrett. Here we are. So we got our ILS stuff set up here. Let's get our landing lights on. And let's start bringing that speed back.
Victoria Juliet Alpha, we're looking to head back south to San Diego and land. Unfortunately, Alpha Clearance Daniel Class Bravo airspace on route 2990.
Yeah, that's gonna be dope. That's gonna be dope, HD. Yeah, Airfoil Labs Max 8. I'm all over that.
Papa, wind 2905, runway 27 for land. Delta Sierra, stop your descent at 7500.
Stop descent 7500, 8 Delta Sierra.
Go 1495. Unfortunately, LA Center is offline. Radar service terminated. Frequency change approved. Frequency change is approved. How's it going?
Okay, you can see now it's picking up the ILS, so we're good to go there. We got our course in already.
Okay, Delta Sierra, turn right, clear direct Barrett. Cross Barrett 7300. Clear localizer Delta approach. West Delta 29 or 89.
Okay, turn right, clear direct Barrett, cross Barrett 7300, cleared localizer D for 8 Delta Sierra.
Comanche 93, Papa, welcome to San Diego. Make right when able contact ground 12 trip.
Okay, we're gonna come off, we're just gonna make our turn now.
Tower 93, Papa. Just your info, we need to haul feet to contact ground. I was actually still in the flare. Can you not see that? Unfortunately, I can't. I only see your speed, so I usually try to judge it. But if you're still doing the flare, that was my apologies. Oh, no worries. All right. That makes sense.
Okay, 59.
Hey, Delta Sierra, wind 26010, runway 27 right, clear to land.
Runway 27 right, clear to land, 8 Delta Sierra. Okay, we got the runway in sight. Pulling power back. Power's coming all the way up.
Up to 4 Julie Alpha, you go into Victor. A for you it up. 4 Julie Alpha, roger, make straight into the ramp. Wind 290 at 5, landing ramp will be at your own discretion. Port landing shirt.
1,000 feet to minimums.
Make sure it's the ramp, landing at my own discretion, will report to at 4 Julie Alpha.
And sending correction, SoCal approach. 8 Delta Sierra is going miss. We're pretty high. We're requesting just to make left pattern here and take 27 right visual.
8 Delta, roger. You can enter right close traffic runway 27 right.
500 feet to minimums.
Okay, roger that. We'll enter right traffic pattern runway 27 right, 8 Delta Sierra. All right, right traffic pattern here.
Feet to minimums.
I've got before Julie Alpha, just remain north of runway 27. Remain north of 27
Flaps
for Julie
up.
Alpha. Whiskey Tango, wind 290 at 5, runway 27.
Caution terrain. Caution terrain.
200 feet to minimums. 100 feet to minimums. Minimums.
Terrain. Pull up. Terrain. Pull up.
Okay, we're going to come hook right around that mountain, and that's a good reference. Yeah, we just, things happened really quick, and we had to make a decision. Runway 27 right, cleared to land, 8 Delta Sierra. All right.
Forward Juliet Alpha, we just touched down. Forward Juliet Alpha, roger, thank you.
200 feet to minimums. 100 feet to minimums. Minimums.
Okay, folks. Flaps full.
Terrain. Pull up.
Approach speed is being achieved.
Pull up. Terrain. Pull up.
Okay, we're on glide.
$100 feet to minimums.
Check.
Minimums. $100 feet. $50 feet.
All right.
Hey, Delta Sierra, welcome to
40 knots.
Gillespie. You can make that left onto Delta 1 Delta to the ramp, Brazil.
Left on Delta 1 to the ramp. Thanks for all your help. I did see you. We'll see you next time.
See you.
See you. All right. Strobes off. Landing off. Gear up and welcome to Gillespie Field after a nice little go around. So we came in way too high. All right. Not as graceful as the first landing, but we got her down, so we'll see what we planted her at. First one was negative 85, so coming around that mountain, we were still slightly high. So we still kind of didn't have the slowest approach. I had to go power, basically idle, on the descent. And almost as we were over the numbers, coming back to our approach speed, which was about roughly 110. Added a little bit more power in, tried to get it to settle down.
Whiskey Tango, welcome to San Diego. Make left when able contact ground 123.9. What's it?
Actually, let's come park over here. I love the way that truck just went through us.
Sorry, American 309, hello. We're on the comics to arrival. 20 miles comics to arrival.
309 SoCal approach, hello, squawk 4631.
Squawk 4631, American 309.
Radar contact 7 miles south of the Oceanside VOR at Cloman, cleared RNAV Zulu, runway 27 approach, Limburg altimeter 29990.
Cleared RNAV Zulu, runway 27 approach, altimeter 29990, American 309.
Speedo's off, auto feathers off. Right generator off, right inverter off. All right, y'all. We have officially made it. Somebody asked about the doors. You can get the doors open here. And let's get me off. Let's get some tunes so we can do a bit of a replay, mates. And then that'll be the day. There you go, my friend who asked if we can open the door. But let's get it closed back just for the replay. Just on the off chance. You can open and close the doors. Alright, disconnect. Get rid of that madness. And look for the replay.
Flaps indicates up. 60 knots. V2. Positive rate. You're up. Feet. 50 feet.
50
40 knots.
All right, let's watch that one again. That was pretty dope.
Knots. V2. 100 feet. 50 feet. 40 knots. $60 knots.
Thank you, Weeping Angels Hacking. Appreciate you. We did have to do a go around. We came in too high on the approach, and so we call go around, and we just did a right traffic pattern.
V2.
And made her in.
Feet. 50 feet. Knots.
All right, let's we'll do a nice little wing replay.
$60 knots.
Let's bring it around that mountain, man, because I'm talking about around that mountain we came quick. All right, we'll rock it from right here, y'all.
Terrain. Pull up. Terrain. Pull up. Terrain. Pull up.
Okay, Weeping Angels, I appreciate it. And welcome all the way from Sweden. Have a great night. Thanks for checking us out, and have a great flight tomorrow, more importantly. We'll see you.
Positive rate. Gear up. 100 feet to minimums. 100 feet. 50 feet. $40 knots.
All right, everybody, from your boy Dre, I'm signing off. I appreciate each and every one of you guys riding along. I had wanted to do this stream with this King Air 350i for a while. Life had got busy, so we were able to do it. God bless and take care of everyone, and we will see you on the next stream. I appreciate all the support, and I'm gone.